Hari Om. In the elective course Information Security, we are currently discussing Module 2. In our previous video, we discussed the basics of symmetric key cipher as well as Kirchhoff's principle. In this video, we are going to talk about the cryptanalysis of symmetric key encipherment. Let us see what is cryptanalysis. Cryptanalysis is nothing but the study of ciphertext, ciphers and crypto systems with the aim of understanding how they work and finding and improving the techniques for defeating or weakening the crypto system. This is one definition of cryptanalysis. Another definition which is available in Wikipedia is cryptanalysis is the study of analyzing the information system to study the hidden aspects of the system. It is used to breach the cryptographic security systems and gain access to the contents of encrypted messages even if the cryptographic key is not known. So cryptanalysis is nothing but the art of breaking the code. We can say that cryptography is the science and art of creating the secret code, whereas cryptanalysis is the science and art of breaking those codes. So, in the cryptanalysis, it is the ciphertext and ciphers and the crypto system will be studied thoroughly to understand how they work, and then it will be improving the techniques for defeating or weakening the system. So we are going to see what are the different cryptanalysis attacks that may happen on a symmetric key encipherment. So these are the 4 common types of cryptanalysis that may happen on symmetric key encipherment. So all these 4 attacks tells us how we can break the codes of symmetric key encipherment. So, in addition to studying the cryptographic techniques, we also need to study the cryptanalysis techniques also. Only then we can strengthen the crypto system, because the cryptanalysis is creating lots of techniques for defeating or weakening the crypto system. So if we understand what are the attacks that may happen and how these attacks are happening, we can strengthen the crypto systems. So that is why, in addition to studying the cryptographic technique, we need to study the cryptanalysis techniques also. So this is needed not to break other people's code, but to learn how vulnerable our crypto system is and how we can strengthen the crypto system. So the study of cryptanalysis helps us to create better secret codes. I repeat, in addition to study the cryptographic techniques, we also need to study the cryptanalysis techniques also. It is required not to break other people's code, but to learn how vulnerable our crypto system is, so that we can strengthen the crypto system. So the study of cryptanalysis helps us to create better secret codes. So the 4 common types of cryptanalysis are ciphertext only attack, known plaintext attack, chosen plaintext attack and chosen ciphertext attack. So these are the 4 possible attacks that may happen on symmetric key encipherment. Let us see what is ciphertext only attack. So in the ciphertext only attack, Alice is the sender, Bob is the receiver, Eve is the intruder or the attacker. So ciphertext is sent through the insecure channel. Eve has the access to some ciphertext. Eve has access to only some ciphertext. She tries to find the corresponding key and the plain text. So by analyzing the ciphertext, she tries to find the corresponding key and the plain text. And here the assumption is Eve knows the algorithm that is used by Alice. And the ciphertext only attack is most probable one because Eve needs only the ciphertext for this attack. So to protect the decryption of a message by an attacker, a cipher must be very resisting to this type of attack. So that is what is depicted in this figure. So Eve has access only to the ciphertext and the ciphertext is analyzed to produce the plain text. So Eve has access to some ciphertext and she tries to find the corresponding key and the plain text. And the assumption here is she knows what is the algorithm used by Alice for encryption. And this is the most probable one because Eve needs only the ciphertext to analyze. So this is what we call a ciphertext only attack. And other common ciphertext only attacks are brute force attack, statistical attack and pattern attack. So the brute force attack is otherwise called as exhaustive key search method. Here Eve tries all possible keys until the plain text makes some sense. So using the intercepted cipher, Eve decrypts the ciphertext with every possible key until the plain text makes the sense. So using the brute force attack was a difficult task in the past, but now since using since the computer is very fast, it is easier today using a computer. So to prevent this attack, number of possible keys must be very large, right? So all the possible keys will be tried by Eve to generate the plain text. So somewhere she will get a sensible plain text so that she can understand what is the key used for the algorithm. And so to protect the crypto system from brute force attack, we have to use a large key domain. And the second ciphertext only attack is called a statistical attack. So the statistical attack will make use of the characteristics of the plain text language that is used, right? So the inherent characteristics of the plain text language is used here to attack the ciphertext. So here what happens, the characteristics of the plain text language. Suppose say for example, if the plain text language is English, we know that the letter E is the most frequently used letter in the English language. So the cryptanalyst will find the mostly used character in the ciphertext and assumes that the corresponding plain text character is E. So after finding few pairs, the analyst will find the key and use it to decrypt the message. So that is what a statistical attack is. I repeat, the statistical attack uses the inherent characteristics of the plain text language. For example, we know that the letter E is the most frequently used letter in English language. So what the attacker will do, he finds the mostly used character in the ciphertext and assumes that the corresponding plain text character is E. Like that, he will try to find a few pairs and the analyst can find the key and use it to decrypt the message. Now, to prevent this type of attack, the cipher should hide the characteristics of the plain text language. Now, the third kind of attack that may happen is called as pattern attack. The pattern attack will use the patterns that are available in the ciphertext. So, some ciphers may hide the characteristics of the language, but it may create some patterns in the ciphertext. So, the cryptanalyst will use the pattern attack to break the cipher. So, therefore, it is important to use the cipher that make the ciphertext look as random as possible. So, that is what the three common ciphertext only attacks are. Now, the next attack is called as known plaintext attack. So, in a known plaintext attack, Eve has access to some plain text and ciphertext pairs. So, in addition to the ciphertext which is shared by Alice and Bob, in addition to this ciphertext, Eve has access to some plain text and ciphertext pairs. So, these pairs will be collected earlier. For example, Alice has sent a secret message to Bob, but she has later made the contents of this message public. So, what happened? Eve has kept both ciphertext and plaintext to use them to break the next secret message from Alice to Bob, assuming that Alice has not changed the key. This is the point that we have to remember, right? So, Alice has sent the message to Bob and later Alice has publicized the plain text for this particular ciphertext, right? So, these kind of pairs will be collected by Eve. So, these pairs will be maintained by Eve to break the message and to find out what is the key used by Alice earlier. And she assumes that the key is not changed by Alice. Using the same key, she tries to break this ciphertext also. I repeat, Eve has collected some plaintext and ciphertext pairs and she find out what is the key used for these pairs, and the same key is used for analyzing this ciphertext also and tries to generate the plaintext. This is what we call as known plaintext attack. So, Eve has access to some plaintext ciphertext pairs and these pairs have been collected earlier, and Eve uses the relationship between the previous pairs to analyze the current ciphertext. And this kind of attack is very easier to implement. However, it is less likely to happen because Alice may change the keys for each transmission. So, here the assumption is the same key is used by Alice for this ciphertext also, right? But it is likely to happen, it is less likely to happen because Alice may change the key for each and every plain text which is transmitted to Bob. This is what we call as known plain text attack. Next attack is what you call as chosen plain text attack, which is depicted in this particular diagram. And the chosen plaintext attack is similar to known plaintext attack, but here the plaintext and ciphertext pairs will be chosen by the attacker himself. So this can happen, for example, if Eve has access to Alice's computer. If Eve has access to Alice's computer, she will choose a pairs of plain text and ciphertext. Okay, so Eve has got access to Alice's computer and she has chosen some plain text and ciphertext pairs. So using these pairs, she is going to generate some key which will be used for analyzing this ciphertext and generate the plain text, right? So by analyzing these pairs, a key value can be understood, and this key value is used to break this ciphertext. This is what we call as chosen plain text. I repeat, Eve is the attacker. Eve has got access to Alice's computer and she chooses some plain text and ciphertext pairs for analysis. From the analysis, she will get a particular key which can be used for analyzing this ciphertext also, and then a plain text will be generated. That is what you call as chosen plain text attack. So it is similar to known plain text attack, but here the plain text and ciphertext pairs have been chosen by the attacker himself. And it happens if Eve has access to Alice's computer and chose the pairs. And this is also easier to implement, but it is less likely to happen. If Alice has protected this computer from the intruders, Eve may not get access to the Alice computer. Now the last attack is what you call as chosen ciphertext attack, which is depicted in this figure. Alice is sending a ciphertext to Bob, and this ciphertext is accessed by Eve, and for analyzing this ciphertext, she is going to choose some ciphertext and plain text pairs. So in the earlier attack, plain text and ciphertext pairs have been chosen by the intruder or the attacker from Alice's computer, but here the ciphertext and plain text pairs are chosen from Bob's computer, right? So that is why we say it is similar to chosen plain text attack. Eve chooses some ciphertext and decrypt it to form ciphertext and plain text pairs. So it happens if Eve has access to Bob's computer. If Eve has access to Bob's computer and choose the ciphertext, then she can easily understand what is the key used by Alice for sending the plain text. So the same key may be used here for analyzing the ciphertext, therefore it generates the plain text. So these are the 4 common attacks, that cryptanalysis attacks that may happen on symmetric key encipherment. Now when you take the symmetric key encipherment, there are 2 broad categories of symmetric key traditional encipherment. One is known as substitution cipher, the other one is called as transposition cipher. So in the substitution cipher, it replaces one symbol with another, whereas the transposition cipher reorders the symbols. For example, in the substitution cipher, if the plain text is hello, for H it is replaced with I, for E it is replaced with F, and LL are replaced with M, and O is replaced with P. So substitution cipher will substitute another character for the plain text to generate the cipher text. That is why we call it a substitution cipher. A character or a letter is substituted for the plain text to generate the ciphertext. Whereas in the transposition cipher, the characters are not substituted, instead the positions are changed here. You can see here the characters HELLO is available in the ciphertext also, HELLO, but the order of the characters are changed here. So the symbols are reordered here, the positions are changed here. So the characters are not replaced, the characters are maintained as it is, but it is reordered. But here in the substitution cipher, the characters are replaced by some other symbol. These are the two broad categories of symmetric key traditional encipherment. So we will be discussing the substitution cipher and transposition ciphers in our upcoming video. Thank you.